pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If everyone could just remain standing for a moment. This past week, our Public Schools suffered a tragedy as we lost one of our paraprofessionals at Wamsutta Middle School, David Bowie, unexpectedly. And so at this time, I'd ask that we take a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. You can be seated. Welcome to the Attleboro School Committee meeting on Monday, March 28th, 2022. So as your notice that this meeting is being electronically recorded. We'll start tonight with our spotlight event, which is to honor and celebrate our Attleboro High School cheerleaders. And for that, I will turn it over to Ms. Regan.
Thank you. Our cheerleaders have worked hard the entire season, and they were able to attend the national championships in Florida and worked very hard in both routines, were absolutely flawless, and so as a result they were first place and national champions. And so with that, I'd like to hand it over to Principal Rooney.
They're shy now. So as Ms. Regan stated, we are extremely proud to honor this outstanding team tonight. And I do want to emphasize the word team. I'm not really sure why the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, especially the MIAA, doesn't treat cheer as a sport. They treat it as an activity, like National Honor Society and things like that. But if you've ever watched this group perform, they are athletes in the truest sense of the word, and they are an absolute consummate team as well. The accomplishments that they have been able to put together this year are certainly memorable. But I would want to start with just an absolute level of appreciation for their families. To be able to go to nationals takes a lot of money. And that's a lot of time standing outside of Dunkin' Donuts, shaking a can, asking people for money. It's a craft fair that, is hours upon hours on a Friday night and then all day on a Saturday. And so I take my hat off to the families as well. So I think we should give them So I'd like to first introduce the team, and then I would just go through a couple of extra highlights that Ms. Regan had already started to mention. So if you would, just hold your applause to the end, because I know the school committee has a lengthy meeting, and we also have some guests here with us tonight. Captains Laura Walsh and Riley Moulton, Riley McLean, Senior, Kylie Sackett, Senior, Katie Bizier, Senior. Our juniors, Tatiana Morales, Bridget Mullett, Madison Bradshaw, Adrian Spalding Nottage. Our sophomores, Kaylise Williams, Lily Danko, Madison DeFlaminis, and Jessica Fernandez. Our freshmen, Emily Riendo, and our outstanding coaches, Julie Marino and Jenna Schellen. So to be able to qualify for nationals, you have to obviously excel at various levels. And so this winter season, this team won first place at all of their invitational competitions in the co-ed division. They won the South Regional Championship in the large co-ed division and also won the state championship in the large co-ed division. When they went to nationals, and I had checked in with Coach Julie on Saturday to find out how the first day went, They were at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, and after day one, were tied for first with a score of 92.4. Knowing that the pressure was on and that they needed to step up, when they got on the mat on day two, they had an astounding score of 95.2 to be able to bring home the title with a final score of 94.8. But I'll have to tell you, as principal, I'm probably just as proud that they were awarded the Show Your Spirit Award, which recognized a team with outstanding sportsmanship. So,
At this time, we have, as Mr. Rooney said, a couple special guests. We have our state representative, Jim Hawkins, and our state senator, Paul Feeney, who have some citations that they would like to read.
Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Attleboro High School cheerleaders in recognition of winning the title, state title, and national title, recipients of the Spirit Award for the best spirit and sportsmanship. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and express hope for the future, good fortune, and continued success for all endeavors. This 28th day of March 22, signed by Ron Mariano, Speaker of the House, and me, State Representative. And it's hard to follow Bill Rooney's description of what happened, but this is beyond just being a club. This is a very intense sport, requires some significant athleticism. And to watch, it's really an art to watch. It's the best of everything. Add together the spirit that seems typical of this school and shows right here. Look at the prize you won. Congratulations so much.
I want to echo the representative's sentiments. First of all, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Superintendent, Principal Rooney, for having us here tonight. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal, and I don't know if you realize it now, but this is something that you will remember for the rest of your life. Can the juniors raise their hands? Which one of the juniors? Can you do this again next year so we can come back on? We are very, very proud of you. I'm blessed to represent you in the state senate. And just so you know, we're a very competitive group in the Massachusetts legislature. We like to brag. And I can't wait to go back to the State House and talk about your team and your athletic prowess, and especially the special award of sportsmanship that you won as well. But to do that, Representative Hawkins and I and Senator Roush, Representative Scanlon, want to have you come to the State House. So we are planning now for a day where we're both in session, where we can come in and recognize you in the chamber of the House and the Senate. Maybe we can snag the governor on the way by, but we want to give you special recognition there as well, so we can brag about you and not only spread blue pride here in Attleboro, but throughout the Commonwealth. So, but before we do that, absolutely, before we do that, I want to bring you official recognition now. And I know, as the Representative said, Mr. Rooney said, it is not an easy thing to accomplish. It is a long season, although I've heard no drama with this crew, right? No drama at all. But even if there was, you persisted through it, and you were able to accomplish this. So, to give official recognition from the state Senate, we have a citation. Congratulations to the Attleboro High School cheerleaders. In recognition of winning the regional title, state title, and national title, and receiving the Spirit Award for Best Spirit and Sportsmanship. This is signed by our President, Karen E. Spilka, attested to by the Clerk, Michael D. Hurley, and offered by two very proud state senators, Paul R. Feeney and Rebecca L. Roush. Congratulations to you all. Picture? Sure.
Can you go in the middle? This is a great angle from right here.
Wow.
Girls, scoot in.
Should we move? You guys hold that,
Stay right there.
and then I'll,
School committee.
you're gonna be blocking somebody. You wanna step to the front?
Oh, definitely block it.
Or will you scoot down a little bit? Perfect. All right.
Mr. Rooney, get in there.
Yeah.
Come on in.
All right, I'm good.
do some interlocking.
Anyone from the committee, comments from the committee? Would like to say anything?
We're gonna do some photos.
Don't leave yet. Maybe you want to say something.
Anyone would like to make any statements? Comments, Mr. Geddes?
Just congratulations, not this year, but just on the continued excellence for Attleboro cheer. Way to go. But everybody else.
Thank you.
I can attest, as I sat front row. My daughter is in the band. I sat front row for every home game, and I got front row seats to every performance. You guys were outstanding, and as a frequent visitor to County Square Dunkin' Donuts, I've seen you many times and thrown my support, so I can appreciate, because it was very cold weather, and you guys were out there diligently all the time, and the parents. So this is just a huge win, and you've done the school proud. You've done your whole school community proud, and you should be proud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a cheer dad and somebody who was a chairperson of the cheerleading booster club, I've been in your seats. I know what this takes to be here. So congratulations. I'll tell you right now, cheerleading is absolutely a sport. I've seen
100%.
boys from the football team switch over to cheerleading and get more hurt, not just hurt, devastated, cheering. We're talking arms out of sockets and things of that nature. Coaches know what I'm talking about, than they ever did on the football field. So the fact that it's not a sport is a joke to me, because it absolutely is a sport. And all I can say is, you guys are this school's patriots. You just keep doing it year after year after year. Julie, Jenna, my daughter would not be who she is without you. So
Thank you. We loved having her come to practice this year.
love you.
Love Amanda.
Thank you all very much, and congratulations and best wishes on continued success in cheer and all your other future endeavors. So thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good meeting. Thank you.
Outstanding.
You're even coordinated in the thank yous.
Slow down.
Hear all those medals clinging.
Yeah, you got nice jackets.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda, we have our Student Advisory Council update. I'll turn it over to our student advisory reps.
Good evening. This week's All Around Attleboro segment contains important information regarding the start of April.
We're going to start off with our SAC shoutouts. Congratulations to the AHS Drama Club for their victory in the Massachusetts Drama Festival. They will be performing next weekend and have an encore performance this Friday night. And also congratulations to our varsity cheer for winning a national competition championship in Florida. For our district-wide events, all schools throughout the district will be having an early release day on Friday, April 1st. For our elementary schools, our only event for the elementary schools is Hyman Fine's PTO meeting, which will be held on April 7th at 6 p.m. Parents or guardians are welcome to attend and get more involved in their school's students' community. So for middle schools, there were no events to report for this meeting. And we're on our high school now.
For the high school, come and support the music department at Fire Exit, which is an encore performance on April 1st at 7 p.m. in the Bray Auditorium. The dance card will also be at Attleboro High School on April 2nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the pit. They are an organization that has free prom dress loans. Come and support our drama department in the musical happening on April 7th and 8th in the Bray Auditorium at 7 p.m. And for community engagement, APS 101 informational tour led by Mr. Sawyer will be happening for Thatcher Elementary on March 30th and for Will Elementary on March 31st. All meetings will begin at 6 p.m. Commemorative t-shirts are available for purchase at the Lights Out website. Tickets for the June 18th Lights Out extravaganza are available on the website. This information is also available on the Facebook page as well. This concludes our segment of All Around Attleboro. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next on our agenda tonight, we have our superintendent's report. Mr. Sawyer?
Thank you, Chairman. I have a couple of brief updates for the committee this evening. First, as I let you all know on Friday in your update, we did see a minor increase in COVID cases last week. We're keeping a very close eye on that. The good news is that we did not have any clusters of cases in any of our schools last week, so in that sense, that was an improvement. But we are going to be watching trend lines, and while I think that the new reality that we will be facing for the foreseeable future is a rise in decline in cases, so a fluctuation I think will be normal. It's important that we don't see any particular rise, overlook any particular rise as a potential start of a trend, so that we will continue to be paying close attention, working with the health department, working with our nurses to ensure that we keep conditions safe for students and staff as we learn to navigate our new reality. I just wanted to give you a brief update on principal searches, or administrative searches, I should call them at this point. Our interview process for Attleboro High School is beginning this week, so we've made good progress in identifying selection criteria, developing interview questions, and screening candidates. So that we're well underway, and hopefully we'll be able to report out soon on the resolution of that process. And then also the AP, the assistant principal vacancies that are now opened at Hyman, Fine, and Hill Roberts as a result of those assistant principals being appointed to their principalships in their own schools. Those processes have begun as well, and those are full external searches that we're conducting in those schools. So we'll keep you up to date on those processes as they unfold. And the last thing I wanted to update you on this evening was just to circle back on our conversation from 2 weeks ago about Tri-County. We did receive 14 applications from current 8th graders in the district to go to Tri-County for next year. I have returned those applications back to Tri-County as they expected, rejecting those applications as we discussed. I gave the reason in the application, just as we talked about, that under the guidance from the state, 9th grade students who reside in districts that offer Chapter 74 exploratory programs are required to attend the exploratory program offered by the resident district. So that's the reason that was given in all cases. I just wanted to give you a little bit of detail as to the kinds of requests that were made. Of the 14, 6 of them were for cosmetology. And while we will not be able to offer exploratory in cosmetology next year, we do anticipate that level 1 will be available for these students in September of 23. So, we have no reason to believe that won't be an issue for them. 3 of the students requested health assisting. If in fact that is what they choose to pursue, they will be allowed to apply to go to Tri-County for that program for 10th grade after completing the exploratory with us in 9th grade. We had 2 students apply for HVAC. That is already in our exploratory program this year, and we will be offering level 1 next year. So that program will be well in place for these students. 2 for dental assisting, same situation. We offered exploratory this year. We're offering exploratory next year, and there is a level 1. Level 1 will be in place for next year, and certainly the year after that, which is the one that's of concern for these particular students. And then there was also one for health careers. We're not quite sure what health careers is because it's not a Chapter 74 program. So I can't really speak to that particular program, but again, that student will be able to apply for 10th grade after attending our 9th grade exploratory. So a little bit of detail on what the different students were looking for and how they will stand with us after their 9th grade with us.
Mr. Stores?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. Will the students that applied to go to Tri-County in 9th grade, will they be able to can we ensure them that they would be able to experience that exploratory block that includes
With the exception of cosmetology, yes.
Of the ones we offer, yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
So of the 14 applications you got, we received, the only ones even before this change this year that would have been able to go to Tri-County in the past would have been the ones where we didn't offer the program, correct?
Correct.
So that would have been, what, 5 or 6?
So 6 in cosmetology, and
But
then
we offer, we don't offer that in exploratory, so they would have been able to go, even though we'll have the program.
that's how we would have handled it historically.
Okay.
But for dental and HVAC, we definitely would have
Would have kept them here.
retaining them because those are now programs that we have.
How many students, so I'm just trying to get the number, how many, so was it 5 students that gave choices that were programs we will not offer here?
So it's 10.
Taking the.
So three health assisting and 6 cosmetology,
Okay.
and then the one health careers. It looks like that's very similar to health assisting. I mean, it's certainly a program we don't offer, but it's not a Chapter 74 program. So, we'd really have to get into the weeds with DESE as to how to handle that particular situation.
Right,
But
so
let's just consider it. Let's just treat it like it's like health assisting. So I would say 10 outside of programs that we currently offer, but only 4 of them are students that are attending that want a program that we will not have.
Right, that was what I was getting at, so
Yep.
4 was a number that I was.
Yeah, so by their sophomore year, so, they're currently 8th graders, next year they're freshmen. When they, walk in on day 1 of their sophomore year, only 4 of them are asking for a program that won't be here.
Thank you.
So the last thing I would just say is that those applications get sent back to Tri-County. I don't know Tri-County's process for alerting the families, but I assume some of them will be disappointed by this news. Mr. Gay and I are both prepared to meet with families and to help to explain in greater detail how we got here and what their options are, and help them to try to, I hope, accept that we have what they need to offer here in Attleboro.
Thank you. Mr. Frappier?
Thank you. For those 6 students that were interested in cosmetology,
Yeah.
without having exploratory in the fall, are there any considerations we need to make for that program the next year because they won't have an exploratory for the vocational?
So the only reason why we're not is because the rules for cosmetology are actually quite strict because they're governed by a cosmetology board for Massachusetts, not by DESE, and so they won't, based on their rules, they won't let us run the exploratory next year because we still have to get the program approved. So they will miss out on that, but we have students in. We've done it before where students have jumped into level 1 of a subject that they knew they wanted, even though we didn't have an exploratory for it. So, while it would be better if we could do exploratory, that would be our preference. Obviously these are students who were signing up for this program having never taken it. So, I think some people know that they have the interest, even though they don't get that exploratory experience.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Last item on the business agenda before we get to our minutes is just an announcement that at our last meeting, the school committee voted to approve a memorandum of understanding with the Attleboro Administrators Association. And so that agreement has been executed. Next, we have minutes from our March 14th, 2022 meeting. Minutes were circulated with your packet. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any edits or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda tonight, 7 items. Motion to accept a donation in the amount of $50 from Target to the high school gifts donation line. Motion to accept a payment in the amount of $4 from Bay State Textiles to Hill Roberts. Motion to declare a surplus an old laminating machine from Hyman Fine Elementary School that has no nominal value. Motion to accept a donation from dormant lunch accounts in the amount of $87.90 to be accepted towards a prior year lunch balance of a student in need. Motion to accept an anonymous donation in the amount of $3,900 to the Attleboro Public Schools to be used at the superintendent's discretion. Motion to accept the contractual obligation in the amount of $65.80 from Planet Aid Inc. as broken down on the check receipt dated March 17th, 2022. And motion to approve a day field trip proposal for 150 8th grade Squillow Middle School students to attend High Meadows Valley in Granby, Connecticut on June 14th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That concludes our consent agenda. Next, we have our subcommittee meeting reports, and our only subcommittee meeting report tonight is teaching and learning. For that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Johnson.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a report of the Teaching Learning Subcommittee that was held on March 22nd. So we know we have a lot of new exciting things happening when the high school opens in August. And one of those things is going to be an adjustment to the schedule. Some of the significant changes that the students are going to expect next year will be year-long academic courses, house structure with core house teachers, and a new X block that will run Tuesdays through Fridays. The purpose of the X block is going to be for advisory, additional help, enrichment, and students will be assigned an advisory team that will be matched with these students throughout their high school careers. And a great benefit of that will be to build relationships with the students, again, throughout their high school careers. So why is this change taking place? This is something that's been researched over the past 3 years and pulled together over the past 3 years. The main driver is that the state significantly increased the hours for required for CTE instruction, Chapter 74 instruction. And the new schedule format is going to allow Attleboro Public Schools to meet the required hours by being able to have double blocks of instruction throughout the day. This new format of the schedule is also going to maximize time in learning, and the teachers will also have some additional prep time, so it's going to be a win-win. And also of note is that there's not going to be any financial impact to this change in the schedule. I know this is a pretty significant issue. Are there any questions about the change to the schedule? No? Okay. And I wanted to thank the administration because I know they put in a lot of hard work in putting together this schedule with a lot of input from stakeholders, including students and staff. Also during our committee, we discussed the Student Opportunity Act. As the committee is aware, the Student Opportunity Act requires each district in the Commonwealth to create a 3-year evidence-based plan for the commissioners' review and provide annual updates to those plans. The plan that we had in place for spring of 2020 focused on research-based early literacy programs, expanded access to career and technical education, and we needed to make updates as a requirement through the ESSER 3 survey. So again, there was focus groups and key stakeholders gave their feedback on some of the updates they would like to see, some of the additional what do I want to say? The additional or the new updated programs that they would like to see. So, Ms. Regan, were there any other comments you wanted to make about the focus groups?
Yeah, so we had shared the evidence-based practices that most people thought were a high priority, especially returning from the pandemic. One of them was social emotional learning, and the other one was emphasis with early college. And so those two additional evidence-based practices were added to what we had already identified as being areas that we wanted to focus on. So with those amended changes, I need to let Department of Ed know that we agreed on this and moving forward, and we're going to move forward with it, more of a compliance exercise.
Exactly. And as a result, the committee does need to bring forward a motion. And we do have a motion for the school committee to approve the new evidence-based practices in the amended Student Opportunity Act.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion?
I'm sorry. You're correct. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Knowing there's some in the community who they see words like social emotional learning or early college programs focus primarily on students underrepresented, and they think that means something that it doesn't always mean. Could you speak to that a little bit and what that means in practice, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. So expanding capacity to address social emotional learning and mental health needs of students and families. And so what that means is providing services during the school day so that if a child is experiencing some type of need during the school day, we'll be able to address that need and get them back into the classroom as quickly as possible so they can focus on learning, and then provide outside services and supports so that they can get the help that they need on their own outside of the school time. And that's for the social emotional one. And early college programs focus primarily on underrepresented students in higher education. This actually came from our LPAC, our English Learner Parent Advisory Council. And so the idea of having students participate in early college programs while they're here in high school with us, so that when they do graduate, they'll be in a better position to continue with college and graduate from college or university.
Thank you, Mr. Storrs. Any other questions? No? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. And lastly, I did want to make mention that that grades 3 through 6 will be rolling out a new program called Into Reading. I know there's a multiple pilot programs over the past few years. And Ms. Regan, I know this is something that's close to your heart. I was wondering if you could share some more details with the committee.
Sure. So we've been piloting different programs since 2018,
Yes.
and have lived through the pandemic with all of that. And so I think we finally landed on one program for grades 3 through 6 that everyone feels has, there isn't one perfect program out there. But we finally found one that we believe provides the supports that we need for our students. The teachers that have piloted have had positive comments to say and positive feedback about what they see in the program. And so that is what we will be using starting next year for students in grades 3 through 6.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Next on our agenda tonight, we have open forum. Is there anyone who would like to address the committee tonight at open forum? If so, please come forward and state your name. Yep.
Hello.
Ms. Kelly?
Richard Kelly, thank you for allowing me to speak, and thank you for the moment of silence for David. My name is Richard Kelly, and even though I'm president of the Teachers Union, I'm here to speak about an incredible ESP, or paraprofessional. The Attleboro community lost a piece of its foundation when David Bowie passed away Friday. Educating children is more than teaching them content skills we deem necessary in life. It's about meeting all of a child's needs each day. I will always be in awe of David's abilities to listen, assess, and respond to each child's unique needs. He made connections in ways that can't be learned or practiced. It was part of David's DNA. David will leave a tremendous void that will be tough for us to navigate through. I consider myself privileged to have known and worked with such a conscientious, kind, and professional educator. Thank you, David, for being a role model and leading by example. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those words. Is there anyone else who would like to address the committee at open forum tonight? All right, seeing nobody, any other business anyone has to bring before the committee? Mr. Geddes?
Not really business, but I just want to thank the hundreds of people that came out to the high school on March 19th to say farewell to this building. It was fun seeing fellow alums. It was fun seeing people reconnect. Literally generations of Attleboro citizens walking through this building all at once was a pretty cool sight to behold. It was also fitting, as Mr. Rooney pointed out to me, that it was pouring down rain and we had to have some trash barrels in hallways to catch some stuff that was coming through the roof. So this building's still going out with a fight. But tickets are on sale now for the Lights Out Extravaganza on June 18th, and that will be happening here in the building starting at 6 p.m. So keep an eye out on social media for more details, and we hope that everyone can come out for that event as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Geddes. Anyone else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Thank you all so much. See you later.
Take care.
I know.
It was a pair.